So the first example comes from October-November 2021, question paper 4.2. So I would highly encourage that you try this paper on your own, guys, before you are able to get help from this. So pause the screen and just attempt the question on your own before looking at the solution that I've paused. So essentially, we're told that a piezoelectric transducer contains a quartz crystal. We've already talked about how a quartz crystal is present as the piezoelectric transducer to produce ultrasound as well as to detect ultrasound. So the question can say, explain how it is used to obtain diagnostic information about internal structure. So we're going to get to this later, but essentially it's saying what's the function of the quartz crystal in medical physics? So it's going to cover two aspects, right? The quartz crystal that you have is going to generate the ultrasound, right? So that's the first purpose of the quartz crystal. It's going to generate the ultrasound. How does it do it? Well, it's going to generate an ultrasound because an applied potential difference is going to cause the crystal to start vibrating. And as that crystal vibrates, it's going to generate ultrasound. So essentially, I can say, well, the quartz crystal generates ultrasound through those vibrations, rather. And then the quartz crystal is going to detect. You can see the word reflected is boldened, implying it's a very important keyword. So the quartz crystal can also detect the reflected ultrasound vibrations from the ultrasound, and that will cause the crystal to generate a potential difference. So essentially, we have a quartz crystal that is able to generate ultrasound, as an applied potential difference will cause that crystal to vibrate, number one. Number two, the quartz crystal can be able to detect ultrasound as they come because the vibrations from the ultrasound will cause that crystal to generate an electrical pulse that we can be able to diagnose. So that's the function of quartz crystal. If you're ever asked, what is the function of quartz crystal? Always keep that in mind. The second question that we're going to talk about is October-November 2020, question paper 4.1. Again, try it out. The point with medical physics, the trick to medical physics is that in as much as you understand a particular process, you have to know what Cambridge wants word for word. Because you just telling me this, and they're not actually marking points, it's not going to be helpful for you. It's not going to be helpful in helping you answer actual examination questions when they come. So I highly recommend that first you try the questions out, but then you really understand what the marking scheme wants, and you can be able to answer from that perspective. Okay. So you've been asked to explain the principles of generation of ultrasound for use in medical diagnosis. What are the principles for generating ultrasound? So the first one, a quartz crystal is used for the generation of ultrasound. We've talked about this, guys. We need a crystal that we can use to generate ultrasound. Number one, an alternating PD is applied across the crystal, and this will cause that crystal to vibrate. We want to generate ultrasound, so an alternating PD is applied across that crystal, the crystal vibrates, that will cause ultrasound to be generated. But how exactly is ultrasound generated? It's a part that we didn't cover, and these 2 points are going to explain that in depth. Okay, so the crystal naturally vibrates, right? We know atoms just vibrate in general. So the natural frequency of the crystal will match the frequency of the alternating PD. We know that AC moves back and forth, and it has that pulsing nature. And we know that the crystal is vibrating like that. When those two match, resonance occurs. So it's the maximum vibrations that are possible. So when that occurs, the natural frequency matches the frequency of the AC, bigger amplitudes will be present, and ultrasound will therefore be produced. So we can therefore say the natural frequency of the crystal falls in the ultra range, hence ultrasound will be obtained for medical diagnosis. So the 2 points that we didn't mention, and if we're asked to explain the principle of generation of ultrasound, always include them, are that the natural frequency of the crystal will match the frequency of the alternating PD, and resonance is occurring bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger vibrations. The natural frequency of the crystal is going to fall in the ultrasound range. Hence, ultrasound can therefore be used for medical diagnosis. So that is sort of what we had to cover in this video. So these are a couple of questions that you can try to help you better understand medical physics. So I'll catch you in the next video where we explore how ultrasound can actually be used in medical imaging.